Hey, what's up, comrades? I just played and finished Armello. Excuse me. There's really not much to talk about with this game. It's not... So, the plot is there's a kingdom, and it's ruled by a lion, and then there's different clans. There's, like, the rabbit clan, there's the fox... No, what is it? The wolf clan, the mouse clan, or the rat... I think the rat clan, and then the bear clan. And then there's like the outlaw band. I think because I have it when I torrented it or whatever, it came with all the DLC. So then there's like the outlaws, right? Who are just like one. There's like one of each race, like the rabbit, mouse, wolf. I keep wanting to say fox, but I'm almost positive it's wolf and bear. And then there's the lizard faction. Which is also not in like the initial story / prologue. So we get like a nice cutscene at the beginning, which is very exciting, and I'm like, oh, this should be fun. And I heard this is like a board game, and it's literally a board game. And we see that like there's all these different groups, these different clans of animals, and then there's also the lion who's the king of the land, but that he seems to be corrupted. And so there's several things playing here. There's like there's prestige, so the different clans have different prestige, and that allows you to interact with the king lion and make decrees as part of the gameplay. Then there's also, I think it's the next one I want to go up. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm still not used to taking this way to the to work, so I get a little confused exactly where I need to turn. Anyway, I'll figure it out. Sorry, I've been a little sick. So there's prestige, there's body, which is like your life, there's attack, there's spirituality, which is related to your magic. So everyone's got those 4 stats, and there's different stats. So then, you know, the game starts, and you are thrust right into the prologue as the Wolf Lord. I think this is where I want to turn. So and again, there's not much story. It's like you just play, and then there's 4 different win conditions. The prologue kind of works you through. You start with the wolf. It teaches you like the very, very, very basic mechanics of like moving through the game. And then you switch over to the rat, and it teaches you how to use cards, which you get every turn, and which cost either gold or money or nothing or whatever. And that you can set like traps for people. You can set you can attack people using spells. You can increase your stats. And then you can get equipment, and you can equip 3 things. And then you can also get followers. The prologue, you have a follower who kind of like helps guide you, and they got like quirky personalities. So like the writing's pretty good for like the bare minimum that exists. And the followers usually have some sort of like stat. And then you switch over to the rabbit, and the rabbit's all about utilizing prestige. And so you get prestige from killing other heroes, from killing monsters, which doesn't come up in this part of the prologue. But there's like a monster that can show up. And let's see, killing monsters. And sometimes cards will give you prestige. And then when you lose battles, you lose prestige. Like when you die, sometimes people can steal your prestige. When you attack the guards, because there'll be like neutral guards wandering around, they can steal your prestige. And then when you attack the king, which is one of the victory conditions, you lose all your prestige. So if you fight him and lose, you're back to square one in that regard, essentially. Now, let's see. And then in the third phase, you learn... Oh, and then you also learn that there's like dungeons... Oh, so then there's towns that you can go to. And you take over a town, you get gold. You get like 1 extra gold per turn. And then there's dungeons. The rabbit clan teaches you about the dungeons. The dungeons you go to, and you get like a random effect. So you can... And that's where you can like summon a monster. Or... you can get gold, or you can get a treasure card, or you can get a magic card, or you can get spirit stones. And then in the bear campaign, we learned that we learned on the win conditions. The win conditions are collect 4 spirit stones and enter the castle to cleanse it. You can attack and kill the king, and then you become the new king. You can have the most prestige when the king dies from natural causes, from the rot, which I'll talk about in a sec. Or you can have the most rot. And I think when the king dies of rot, you also, if you have the most rot, you like take over as like the corrupt king or something. I don't know. I didn't get all the endings. Or all the game-winning conditions. I just did the conquering one where I defeated the king and became the new king. But no, in the campaign, well, yeah. In the prologue, I don't think anyone got it. There was like no win condition. It just kind of like ended. So once. Oh, and then so rot. Rot is like another factor. When you have rot, you lose 1 hit point per turn, and then if you have 5 rot, you become like ensconced with darkness, and then you get like extra abilities, but then you continue to lose life every turn. And then it has like other negative effects. Like there's healing circles throughout the map, and if you step on those healing circles, you take damage. There's swamps on the map. You take damage from those. There's mountains. If you're sitting on a mountain, you get extra defense if someone attacks you. I think, yeah. And then if you are in a forest at night, you gain stealth, so people can't attack or see you, unless they use like special cards. All right, and then like I said, there's the king who just sits in the castle, and then there's 4 squares around the king that are like the castle. And then I think there's only 3 guards actually. So there's 3 guards, and they will like meander about and do things according to like the king's dictates, or they'll just kind of meander about and do things. Now the monsters are always like this rotted bird-like creature, dragon-like bird creature, and they will spawn periodically because of people stepping into dungeons and rolling that randomly, or the king summons them because of his rot or whatever, and then they'll just kind of meander about and fight you. And they use So then there's the battle screen. So the battle screen is very simple. You have a dice pool, and so in combat, it's usually based on your attack power, and then you roll dice, and there's 6 options, right? Because it's a 6-sided dice. So you either do attack, you do defense, you do nothing because you rolled rot, so you missed. You do sun, or you do moon, or you do like, I want to call it spirit. Spirit seems to, and I can't remember if it said this exactly, benefit you. Like it'll go to attack if you need more attack to kill somebody, or it'll go to defense. And then sun will give you more attack if it's during the day, and moon will give you more attack if it's night, or nothing. Again, unless you have cards that... There's a lot of different cards you can get for spell effects and all that also play a role. You can also burn cards. All the cards have like a little thing in the corner that give you something. Like they'll be like moon, it'll be one of the dice rolls. And so if you burn the cards, it takes one of your dice away, but you get like an automatic attack or defense or whatever. So sometimes, and sometimes you have cards like I don't want to get rot, so I just burn a card then and miss if I know I'm fighting somebody who's already down to like 1 hit point, for example. And then when you go to perils are kind of the traps and different things that appear on the map. You have to get like a certain set of dice configurations. It reminds me of this Call of Cthulhu game I played a long time ago. Like I think it's House of... It's like Arkham Asylum or something, where like you would go around and sometimes you'd need to battle, and then to battle to get something you would need to roll dice but get exactly like what the card said. Like there wasn't like you needed to get... You always needed to get the same thing. Sometimes you needed to get different dice rolls. So that's how the perils work. So normally like the picture for a rot would be a miss, like in combat. Sometimes you do a peril and you need to get that miss roll to like beat the peril. There's also quests. So you get like these quests that pop up. You always have one quest, unless you just choose not to get one. I never chose not to get one, so the game might force you to take a quest. And the quest will like lead you places that if you go there, you can get bonus to like your body, your spirit, your rot, I'm assuming, and your attack, and also prestige. That's the way to get prestige. Or you can chance it and use your stats to have like a percentage chance to get something good, extra good, or to like lose life as well. And then I don't think you get prestige, but you always get like the stat boost, I think. Anyway, let me think. I think that's all the stuff going on in the game. It's not that complicated. At first it seems like a lot of systems, but when I started playing it was like, oh, it's pretty intuitive. So it's very well done in that regard. So then after you get through the prologue, which is pretty quick, I'm going to say maybe 30, 40 minutes if you're taking your time. Then it's like, that's the game. So now you can play it online with other people. You can play it by yourself with AI. I didn't play with other people. I just played it. I played through it once. I chose and so you have the 4 heroes from the prologue, and then each clan has 4 heroes, and then that are like different, and they all have different kind of buffs or different kind of stats. So like the bear you play in the prologue is very like magic oriented, but there's bears that are very combat oriented, for example. and then they all have like little perks and stuff. I didn't really look into it because I was like, I just wanted to play the game once and see what it was like and see if there's anything else to it. So I just chose a random hero. I got like a warrior rabbit character, and then I just like went and got a bunch of like good items and stomped face all over the place, and then I killed the king. And that took maybe 30 minutes, I want to say. So the game's pretty quick, especially because it lets you like speed past the enemy turns. So everyone gets like turns. So the king gets a turn, and then all 4 clans get a turn. And if someone's like a lizard clan or an owl clan, like in the game I played, the random AI, there was a lizard man, and then there was an outlaw, and then it was the wolf clan, and then I. No real effect. Like again, there's not like a story. It's a board game. This would be very interesting as like an actual board game. I think that would be very fun to play. But playing it by myself, I played it once, and then I wasn't connected online because I'm like this is all like torrented stuff, so I didn't want to like mess with that necessarily. And have to like battle whatever online checks it has or doesn't have or whatever. So, but if you're online, then you can like level up. I don't know what that means. But it was like, you cannot gain experience from this win because you're not connected online. And I was like, don't give a fuck. But it was fun. Again, it's like I would enjoy this much more playing this as an actual board game with people. And have it, like, I could just imagine having like these miniatures moving around and the cards. I mean, I feel like you could pretty easily do it. And then just have a character as like the king, I guess. Or the king would just be directed by cards. I don't know. But to me, it'd be an awesome board game. Maybe there's a board game in this. I mean, board games are so much more expensive than video games to like get out the door. And then the profit margins are much slimmer, so I doubt it. But especially with all these like little miniatures you need for this to like really function well. But I enjoyed it. I would say if you got like a group of people that you like play games with and you want to try something more chill or a little different than like Call of Duty or whatever, this would be a definite recommend. But visually it's good. The music was nice and not interfering, and it was just all the systems made sense and they all worked well. And if you die, you just go back to like your clan hold, which is like in one of the 4 sides, and then you can proceed forward. And again, you just get like a lost prestige. Also, if you die to the monsters, you take some rot. So if you're trying to avoid that, but that's an ending you could get, or a win condition. So it was fun. There's like 4 different win conditions, 4 different players. So everyone could be going for like the same win condition or different win conditions, or 2 people could be going for the same. There's a lot of possibilities. I can see this being very fun with like 3 other people who are like into it as well. And maybe if you just play it online. I feel like just playing it randomly online is not going to be as fun. That's the thing. This game seems like it'd be really good with like some other people to play with. And maybe they have a co-op. It didn't seem like that was an option. It seemed like you were online or you're not. So you would need to find other people who could like also have their computers, and you'd be playing like a LAN party style, which would be cool. If I still had friends where we did LAN parties, which I did in the past, and it was awesome. But yeah, so it was pretty good. I'd give it like, I'm going to say, I'm going back and forth between like a 6 and a 7, which again for me is good. Those are good games. Like Elden Ring, which is one of the best games ever, I'd still probably give like a 9, right? And most games are, and then most of the Souls games, I'd put more at like an 8. Except Dark Souls 2, which is clearly a 10. But yeah, enjoyed it. All right, cool. So yeah, I'm going to go with 6.5 for this one. It was good. It's a good game, and I enjoyed it. But yep, cool. Catch y'all later.